So these are what's predicted to be the five smartest and most profitable businesses you can start right now going into 2026. These are not theories, these are not trends. This is real business models that are winning in today's market and what we know is going to do well. As a funding company, we've also had the opportunity to look over $1 billion worth of businesses. So I see every single day what's working and more importantly, what fails. And that's why I want to share it with you today. So I'm Brittany Calloway and I provide insights around credit, business, and finance to help business owners turn credit into capital and to capital into freedom. And if I were starting from zero today and wanted to really build $1 million business, these are some of the exact paths that I would look at, and there are 5 of these business models that we should definitely be paying attention to. So stay with me because the 5th one is the fastest path to cash flow. So here's the belief that changed everything for me. Great businesses are built with real strategy, right? Not just winging it. And if you choose the right model at the start, everything else is going to become so much easier. Marketing gets easier, hiring gets easier, scaling gets easier. But most people never think about the business model first. They think about the big idea, and that's backwards. Before we get into the 5 business ideas and structures, we need to talk about what actually makes a good business. There are only 2 things you should look at when deciding what business to start. Number 1, who are you actually selling to? Always sell to buyers with money. Wealthy people pay to solve problems. They value speed, they value convenience, and they value peace of mind. It is always easier to start with high ticket, low volume, and scale later than it is the other way around. The second thing you also have to look at is market growth rate. This is not opinion based. You can Google this if you must. If the market is shrinking in that niche, you are fighting gravity. If the market is growing in that niche, the market's going to pull you forward. And right now, we are entering what I call a golden era of growth. There has never been a better time in modern history to start a business in the United States. But not every industry benefits equally. Some industries are dying off quietly, others are exploding. So your job is to choose correctly. One massive business opportunity right now is pet care. Most people do not expect this one, but the pet care market is growing at over 5% annually, and it's been doing that since 2015 in the United States alone. It is projected to grow from $151 billion to $251 billion by 2030. That's massive. But here's the real insight. You are not solving a problem for the pet. You're solving a problem for the owner. And that problem can kind of create guilt because busy professionals, busy parents, busy owners who travel, they all feel guilty, right, about leaving their pets behind or not caring for their pet. And guilt is one of the strongest buying emotions that exists. If I were entering this market, I would focus on premium services, high-end pet sitting, luxury grooming, pet hotels with living cameras, wellness focused pet treats, right? Protein pet treats. People will spend absurd amounts of money to feel like a good pet parent, and you need to lean into that. Remove the guilt, provide peace of mind. That is where the money is going to be. The second strongest opportunity right now is health and wellness. This industry is not just big, but it is structural and it is growing at enormous rates super quickly. Health and wellness is almost at nearly 9% annually and always climbing, and certain subsectors are growing even faster. Everybody is focused on longevity, mental health, functional medicine, preventative diagnostic, hormone optimization, IV therapy, cold plunges, saunas, recovery, wearable health tech. This is not a temporary spike. This is a generational shift. One of my most recent investments in businesses is in the wellness space. And the reason is simple. After the pandemic, people changed. Trust in traditional healthcare dropped. People want control. They want data. They want personalization. They want prevention and not just prescriptions. Consumers are no longer asking, how do I treat this? They're asking, how do I never get this in the first place? So the mindset is shifting around preventative care, and that creates massive opportunity. Now, here's the key. You no longer need a medical degree to participate in this industry. Information is democratized. You can build a supplement brand, a fitness coaching business, a mental performance program, a recovery studio, a longevity focused content brand, a wellness product line, even if you don't have a medical background. So your opportunity expands even further. Think about med spas. Think about telemedicine, the concierge primary care. Think high end preventative diagnostics. Think hormone optimization clinics. Think executive wellness programs. The real power move is this: partner medical expertise with business expertise. That is where empires are going to build. Look at an example of the company Parsley Health. They position themselves around functional medicine and root cause treatment. Membership data, they were very data driven. They showed personalized care. They also talked about, instead of charging per visit like traditional healthcare, they built recurring revenue through subscriptions. That's a massive change and disruptor to the market. Another example is looking at local med spas. Let's say you open a higher end med spa that's just focused on Botox, fillers, laser treatments, or even focus on hormone optimization. Those startups costs can range from like 150,000 to 400,000 depending on equipment, build out, if you're franchising. But here's why investors love this space. The margins are insane. Injectables like Botox can often carry a 50 to 70% margin. IV therapy, I've seen up to 60% margins. Membership models, smooth revenue, and they are easy to increase retention. A well-run medical spa can generate $1 million to $3 million annually with strong cash flow once it's stabilized. Even in non-clinical wellness, margins are also very powerful. So if you also build a supplement brand around that, let's say you land costs at a bottle for like $5 to $10. Retail price for these things are $30 to $60. That's a 3x to 6x markup before marketing. High quality wellness brands are strongly positioning themselves regularly to operate 50 to 70% gross margins. And because customers are buying for identity and lifestyle, retention is going to be very strong in this dynamic. This is not transactional. This is transformational. So health and wellness is a massive one that you can easily tap into, because emotional buying is going to be triggered. People will cut, anything in order to stay healthy and to stay around and to be in longevity. So they will delay a luxury purchase before they delay their health. So that is powerful. Okay. The third business model is sustainable and eco-friendly products. This is not a trend. This is a consumer shift. Sustainable products are growing at nearly 10% annually. And in many categories, they are outpacing traditional products. So beauty, skincare, cleaning products, pet products, household goods, fashion basics. Consumers are no longer just buying products. They are buying values. Now, let me give you a real example, though, of how this can actually work. Take, for example, the brand like Blue Land. They entered the cleaning product space, one of the most crowded, right, industries on the planet, right, is obviously in the cleaning space. But instead of competing on stronger chemicals or even cheaper prices, they built around sustainability. Refill tablets, reusable bottles, no single-use plastic. But here's what made them win. They did not make it look eco, they made it look premium. Clean branding, minimal design, very soft modern colors. They had their social media packaged very well. They positioned sustainability as elevated, not an alternative. That's another shift. And another example is the Honest Company. They built around clean ingredients and transparency in baby and household products. Parents were willing to pay more because the brand aligned with safety and values. So these identity based purchases are what's really booming and in consuming in our market. And so identity based brands scale fast. The startup costs are typically very low because let's think about it. The numbers where most people get scared, if you're launching a sustainable product line, you're using a private label, and here's a realistic lean startup. So this is identity-based purchasing, and identity-based brands scale up very fast. So let's break down some of the numbers, because I feel like this is where a lot of people just get scared in the industry. So if you're launching a sustainable product line and you're using like private labeling, here's a good realistic blueprint just so you know. Product development and sampling is very cheap to get into the industry. It could be like $1,000 to $3,000. Initial inventory orders can be like 5,000 to 15. Eco-friendly packaging, another 2 to 5K, and branding, logo design, another 1 to 3K. Shopify setup, marketing budget, maybe 3 to 10K. So realistically, you can launch with about $12,000 on the very lean end and up to $25,000 for a more polished launch. Now, here's the exciting part: profit margins. Sustainable products often carry premium pricing. So if you, like I said, if you land at a bottle for $6, you can retail it at 24. That's a 4x markup. After payment processing, shipping, packaging, marketing, you might net about $8 to $12 a unit. That's still roughly a 40 to 60% gross margin, depending on what category you're in. So it's important to have, of course, strong branding, repeat customers. You have to have a good story because your lifetime value increases significantly. And because sustainability builds loyalty, retention is going to be much higher than just generic brands. It's not about selling one product, it's about building a brand that people feel proud to support and bundling different offers within there. So, if you can combine sustainability with luxury aesthetics and smart marketing, you're not only competing in a race to the bottom, you're building a premium identity brand. So, if your business is already in motion or one of these feels pretty easy to build out, and all you need is roughly $25 to $50,000, right? In the next 90 days, also book a call with me and my team at thefundinglounge.com. And I put the link below just so we can help you get the actual blueprint needed to fund this business or idea so you can really have a transformational change in your life and trajectory. Business number four. The fourth opportunity is, of course, digital marketing agencies and any e commerce enablement and establishments. And this one's powerful because it sits at the center of the modern economy. Every business is moving to online, right? But most businesses do not know how to monetize this attention. That is where you need to come in. This market continues to grow aggressively because online retail keeps expanding. Local businesses also need digital presence. The competition is increasing though, but customer acquisition is getting more complex. Businesses need help with SEO paid ads, social media content, email marketing, conversions, optimization, funnels, design, and most of them are doing it wrong. They hire junior help, they post randomly, they boost posts with no strategy, they spend money with no tracking, then they say digital marketing does not work. And that is exactly where you come in, right? Because you want to provide that structure. And unstructured marketing, as you guys know, just does not work. How you win in this industry and niche is you got to just niche down aggressively. So pick one core outcome that you want to focus on. Is it going to be social media for dentists, or is it going to be YouTube for real estate investors? Is it TikTok shop, right? Like, so this is just a massive space. Email marketing for Shopify brands. These type of examples, when you know and you become known for one thing in one vertical, you're going to increase perceived authority instantly. And businesses care about one thing: revenue, not followers, not likes, not viral moments. What's the bottom line? So, an example, let's say you specialize in a digital marketing company for local service businesses like HVAC or plumbing companies. That's massive, right? They're spending sometimes $8,000 a month on Google Ads with poor conversion tracking. You can restructure their funnel, new landing pages, better ad targeting, retargeting campaigns, email follow up sequences. And when you do this in a 90-day period, right, you can obviously sometimes 2 or 3x their business, and they're going to want to keep paying you on retainer to do that. The cost per leads with this, with guerrilla marketing, can be very low, right? If you're actually doing cold calling or reaching out on LinkedIn, right, to different businesses to really capture them. And then got to be in sales to have a good close rate on any of these types of businesses. But that can translate into a lot of revenue per month, right? It's kind of a no brainer. Now, let's talk a little bit on e-commerce. If you work with a niche, right, like a Shopify brand, you can also optimize your products. So you can focus on product positioning, ad creatives, email sequences, improving marketing. Remember, you're not just a marketer. You need to be a revenue engineer, right, in this space. And this is one of the most accessible businesses to start, right? You can literally start between $0 to $2,000. If you need some upgrades for software, you can do email marketing, but guerrilla marketing, right? There's a lot of easy ways to break into this space and niche for positioning. And if you want to run ads, that's obviously going to be another bonus to acquire customers in this space. But what's great about this is no inventory, no physical overhead, just skill and execution. So you have very high profit margins in this space, especially if you charge, $3,000 to $10,000 per month on retainer, right, to these clients. And you really niche down, and your primary niche is in certain areas of expertise with different companies, right? Such as software contractors or HVACs, plumbers, right? You want to niche down, especially in this space, to really get higher clients coming in. And think about it, 10 clients at like $7,000 per month, at $70,000 per month. You could scale and grow across really quickly, and you can move to different verticals or different niches and industries as you start to really master one. The two really biggest things I see in this niche where people make mistakes, honestly, is like onboarding and expectation setting. If you don't clearly define deliverables, KPIs, timelines, reporting, you're going to start to lose trust. Professional agencies win because they manage expectations before they manage ads. And a lot of times, people also in this space, they're hiring too early. Everyone wants to build an agency model around this before they have a good, repeatable system. So you have to master client acquisition. How are people coming in? The delivery rate and fulfillment, right, that you're doing to now make sure that you are satisfying each customer, creating really good SOPs and building systems, and then hire. Otherwise, you're going to scale. It's going to be way too chaotic. But digital marketing and e-commerce enablement wins because it's a low startup cost, it's an easy entry to barrier, and you have high scalability. And we know when you tie your services directly to revenue impact, $10,000 per month per client is just going to become normal. This is one of the fastest paths to building $1 million service business in today's economy. Now, business number 5, you guys already know the big one, the big kahuna. It's all AI powered services and automation solutions. The most obvious opportunity is this service because it's just not hype. This is infrastructure. Every major company in the world is asking the same question right now in 2026. How do we use AI to cut costs, increase productivity, and scale without even hiring more people? And most of them have no idea how to do it. That is where you come in with opportunity. Businesses that help other companies implement artificial intelligence are extremely profitable right now. This includes AI consulting, having more custom automations, coming up with AI systems, workflows, optimizations, chatbots, development, CRM automation, data analysis, dashboards, AI-driven marketplace systems, SaaS products, right? They're all, a lot of them have changed to now be built on top of AI tools. So the demand, as you already know, is exploding because companies are under pressure. Labor costs right now are high and margins are tight. Competition is intense. So if you can help a company save $10,000 per month in payroll or generate a 50,000 extra per month in revenue through automation, your fee becomes insignificant to them. So let's say you specialize in AI automation for a service-based business. A law firm, right, is manually responding to their leads, scheduling or consultations, and follow up on just in paid invoices. And you build something like an AI chatbot that's really going to be helpful in qualifying leads, helping to automate emails and book more leads on the calendar. And you come up with a great follow up system that's more automated or having more integrated payment reminders, dashboards, right? They could have been missing sometimes 30% of their inbound leads or 20% of unpaid invoices. And AI can solve that dramatically and quickly. So even like I said, that translates to $30,000 or more in monthly revenue, and you're charging like $5,000 to build the system and the $2,000 per month to maintain it. It's an easy decision for them. You're not selling software; you're selling efficiency and revenue, and the business can be started extremely lean, right? To get started in this business, people are spending anywhere from $0 to $2,000, right, depending on what already AI tools you have and the subscriptions of what you have to be able to build out for other people. People are also finding ways to develop their own, right? Prompts, ChatGPT prompts, Manus, Gemini, you name it, right? They're coming up with, people are bootstrapping to be able to start quickly to really implement these services into businesses. So this is a no-brainer. There's no inventory, there's no physical product, there's no warehouse. It's truly just skill and positioning. So your profit margins are going to be very high in AI consulting and automation. And just remember, the companies that are winning in AI are not the ones that know the most code. They're the ones that understand business problems the best. And if you can bridge business pain with technical execution, you're going to become indispensable. AI is not replacing entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs who use AI are replacing those who do not. This is one of the most asymmetric opportunities of this decade. So this is how people are quietly building seven-figure service businesses. If you want to start a business, stop guessing. Choose a model with growth. Choose buyers with money and commit to mastering the skills. And if you need help with understanding how to get business funding for any of these ideas, definitely book a call with me at thefundinglounge.com using the link below. And in my next video, I'm going to walk you through the different ways that the banks don't want you to know about when it comes to funding in 2026. A lot of things have changed, so make sure you stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.